the tip to field.
It is Friday, May 23rd, and the Yankees were in Colorado to take on the 8-42 Colorado Rockies. Aaron Judge playing in Coors Field for the first time in his career, and Clarke Schmidt on the mound. Plus, we're going to talk Yankees trades with TK tonight. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
TK, how in the world does that happen? How does that happen? How do you lose to the Colorado Rockies?
I'm at a loss for words. You better win the next two. Next two.
My God, that is embarrassing. And the Knicks lost tonight, so it was a very tough night for New York sports fans. I'm just kind of numb. I there is no way that this Rockies team should ever be able to beat the Yankees with their current roster. They came in with 8 wins in their first 50 games this year.
Yeah.
And they just basically stopped the Yankees. 5 hits for the Yankees tonight. They dropped the first game of this road trip 3-2. We had a Judge home run. We had a not-so-great start from Clarke Schmidt. Not much else. We had a triple from Goldschmidt. TK, not a fun night. Let's get to the recap.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
Game 50. Let me just go ahead and update that. It was the first time this year I forgot to update the game number. Anyway, all right. So single for Judge, RBI triple for Goldie Knox in the first inning. I predicted the exact scenario with a triple, but I thought it would be Volpe. Wells ran into some tough luck tonight. He smoked one at the second baseman. Could have easily been a double play. A double. It ended up being a double play. Fantastic job by the second baseman, Amador, who can't hit. He's got a 152 average and a 488 OPS, but he can obviously pick it. Rockies tied it up in the fourth, and I started sweating, but then Judge went deep, and I started, okay, well, they're the Rockies for a reason, right? Home run number 17 for Judge. But Schmidt was done in the fifth inning. We'll talk more about him. We'll spotlight him in a second because I got a lot to say about this outing. You really want to see him get deeper into the game. Rockies took the lead in the fifth inning. Tim Hill came in with runners on and served up a shot off the center field wall. TK, Tim Hill has just not looked as good to me recently. Do you notice the same thing?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like with him, sometimes relievers that it's like that, you kind of capture lightning in a bottle or like capture some magic, which they did last postseason. He pitched really well and towards the end of last year, but he's been kind of spotty this year, kind of good sometimes, not really good. Like, I don't really think there's a lot of consistency there. And I think it's important to have a lefty in the bullpen. It's important to have that. I think the arm slot is a little bit different, a little bit of a different look, but they did throw Hedrick tonight, who I thought looked really good. And if you're going to kind of replace a Tim Hill with a Hedrick to have a lefty in the bullpen, like, I'm okay with exploring that option. That's not an immediate decision for right now, but I'm okay with perhaps kind of looking into that.
Well, I mean, whatever the solution is, they've just got to get more outs out of the pen. I mean, We're giving up too many leads. We're serving up too many long balls. We're walking too many guys. But Yankees did have a chance in the eighth. Grisham walked to lead off the inning, but Judge got jammed and bounced into a 6-6-3. Double play, double kill. I've seen a few comments already about how he's not clutch and yada, yada, yada. Reminder that he did hit a game-winning home run about a week and a half ago. He had a clutch single to tie the game, a night or two ago. TK, is Judge clutch enough for you?
Yeah, in the regular season, I think it remains to be seen in October. We can make that argument. But I think that I hear a lot of lately, like, the Jeter versus Judge conversation. Well, he's not Derek Jeter because, Derek Jeter performed all the time in the postseason. And okay, pound for pound as a baseball player, Aaron Judge is a much better baseball player than Derek Jeter. That doesn't mean that Derek Jeter is less great than Aaron Judge. To me, that's two different conversations. But I think what people don't understand is that Derek Jeter played like an entire season in the postseason. I don't feel like, if you really break it down, he's been in the league a while, but his sample size in the postseason is like a quarter of what Derek Jeter had. So I think it's just kind of like he needs more time, even though he's older, if that makes sense. So he's clutch enough for me in the regular season, and he's such a great player that, like, even if he was clutch sometimes, I'm still cool with that because he still hit a home run to take the lead in the game when they needed it. He hit the solo shot, and then they coughed it up. So there you go. That's baseball, Susan.
Yep, it is what it is. But Yankees dropped this one 3-2. All right, so we're going to quickly talk about Clarke Schmidt.
Pitcher spotlight.
I could sum up his performance in basically 3 words tonight. Too many pitches. Somebody just commented it. This is an abysmal offense, but I felt like he was trying to strike everybody out. It's like he went in there thinking, all right, I want to fan 15 guys. He did have 19 whiffs tonight, so he obviously had swing and miss stuff. But I thought there's room for a more efficient outing here. If you just run the fastball or the two-seamer inside on some hands, maybe get some soft ground balls early in the count, instead of having all these deep counts where you're trying to throw strikeouts, you're trying to throw curveball after curveball after curveball. 4 2/3 innings against this offense is not impressive at all. 3 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Top velocity was 95.3. Who cares? Season ERA 4.58. TK, what are your thoughts on Clarke Schmidt tonight?
When he had 40 pitches in the second inning, I was like, this isn't going to be good. Now, I think the Rockies are a terrible team, so they weren't really able to exploit that. But let's say he's playing against the Dodgers. He probably gives up 7 runs tonight. They're working accounts like that. You're playing a competitive team. Clarke Schmidt, it's weird, right? Because sometimes he has a really good start, and I really like what I see from him. But Derek, you and I were not high on Will Warren like at all. But he's strung together a nice little run of starts here, and he's looked really good. And my thing is, like, is Will Warren going to kind of replace Clarke Schmidt in the rotation? And maybe Clarke Schmidt is a guy that they end up trading, to be honest. He's still got, 2 more years of control after this year. He's a free agent in 2028, makes $3.6 million. So he's definitely movable. But I don't know if they'll go in that direction. They definitely have to be very confident that Will Warren can become that 5th starter. But if they think that, and if Will Warren is the guy that we've seen the last few starts, which I don't know if that's the case, but let's just assume in this world that it is, I feel like he's a younger, better pitcher than Clarke Schmidt, and I would probably look into moving Clarke Schmidt.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because we've seen this exact scenario play out before with Jordan Montgomery, where the Yankees were in contention in 2022. They were trying to get better, and they still traded Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader at the deadline. And, Montgomery, to his credit, ended up pitching great for the Cardinals and then for the Rangers. If the Yankees are trying to kind of maneuver pieces around and just kind of reshape the roster and they don't think that he's going to fit into their postseason plans, I could totally see that happening. We got a couple of more super chats here. Infamous Entertainment says Yankees playing down to their competition. Unfortunately, that's very true. Franklin Lopez says, if I'm Judge, I would raise hell in that locker room right now. I don't think he's the type of guy that raises hell, right? And McLean Scholler says, brother, peak bad juju saying they must win all 3 earlier today. I said it the day before, I guess that's called yesterday, the day before today. The reason I said it is because it's true. It should be unacceptable to lose to this team. I don't believe in juju. I don't think that what a podcaster says, especially a fan podcaster who wants his team to win every game, has any effect on the play on the field. I just don't believe that for a second. Okay, so we're going to talk trades tonight. So we're going to have kind of an extended talk about some different players that we've been looking into all day. But first, I want to get the Arena Club ad out of the way. Now, this is a different type of ad. I'm reading it, so I'll be back in 60 seconds. Actually, it's a little bit longer. It's about a minute and a half. And then I'll be back with Terrence, and we'll talk trades. All right, it is time for the Arena Club Player Spotlight. Now, I know that this guy didn't pitch tonight, but I wanted to give a shout out to Carlos Rodon, who really is feeling the power of the beard. I think he's feeling more confident. I think he's feeling more like the guy he was before he got to the Yankees. And one thing that not a lot of people are talking about, look at the shape this guy is in. Look at what he looked like back in 2023, and look at him now. The man looks like he has spent a lot of time in the gym, a lot of time working, and that's what we want from guys. We want guys who are going to put in the effort even after they got a $160 million payday. and so far it has been fantastic. He's posted a 2.88 ERA so far this season. That's exactly what it was before he got to the Yankees. And then his first season with the Yankees, his ERA was almost 7. So I think it's fair to say that he's really turned it around. You look at the metrics, they are phenomenal. He's throwing like an elite pitcher right now. His pitch mix has gotten much better. He's throwing the sinker more. He's throwing the changeup more. He's working in that curveball early in the count to establish strike one, which is something I love. All right, the folks at Arena Club did send me a slab pack to open, and we're going to find out which player I got. We're going to open it together, so you guys will get my live reaction. Here we go. All right, let's see who we got. And it is Ken Griffey Jr. Mint. Beautiful. You know, Ken Griffey Jr., I think should have been a unanimous Hall of Famer. I saw him play in person a number of times. I saw him hit 2 home runs in Game 1 of the 95 American League Division Series. Arena Club. Wow, thank you. Ken Griffey Jr., the Mother Lode, Mint, number 3, 1998 Metal Universe. This is a banging card.
A what?
All right, TK, so we are going to talk some Yankees trade talk. We are at the time of the year where you start to see deals go down sort of, incrementally. You'll see 1 or 2 probably in the next few weeks, and then they'll really start to pick up in July. The rumors are going to be coming. You're going to see all sorts of stuff on, MLB Network about trades, and all the podcasts will be talking about trades. And right around Memorial Day, or 50 games in or so, general managers will take a look at their team and they'll decide, all right, do we have a chance at the playoffs? If not, we should sell. We should save some money. We should try and get some, prospects for our valuable assets, save a little money on budget. So today we put together some names. We got 5 names that we can talk about, and we're open to some suggestions from the audience. 5 players that we think could help the Yankees. So let's talk first about the needs. I think it's obvious we need bullpen help. We saw that again tonight. Wouldn't mind having a right-handed bat, and it'd be better if they played third base. And you'd like to get some salary relief. If you could move somebody like a Stroman or move somebody that makes a little bit of money, that allows you to add a better player at the deadline. And so the typical sellers are the teams that are pretty much out of it, don't really have much of a chance. I've got the Marlins, who are 19-29, the Nationals, who are 23-27. Let's be real, they're not going to make the playoffs in the NL East or in the NL period. The Pirates, 17-34, the Orioles, 16-33, the White Sox, 15-35, and the Athletics, 22-29. So do you want to start us off, TK, with somebody?
Yeah, an interesting name that I had brought up to Derek. He had already put it on our little sheet here, our little pre-show sheet, but it was just a name that I was thinking of. But Felix Bautista with Baltimore. The guy is absolutely electric stuff, and Baltimore has had a massively disappointing season this year so far. So he doesn't make a lot of money at all. I think it's like $1 million or so, and I think he may be having 2 years of control. You'll have to correct me that on Derek. But look at all that red. Look at all that red right there. So he was hurt. He had surgery. He hasn't been as dominant this year as he's been in the past. You see he has a 4.30 ERA, but to me that kind of like undercuts his value a little bit. Maybe they're selling on the low, but that is definitely a guy that I would love to have. He's got great stuff, and I think Matt Blake could really kind of hone in on the sinker split combo there, and the Yankees have shown that they really like that kind of makeup with a pitcher. Fernando Cruz kind of has that, the sinker splitter. So that is definitely a guy that I would love. I don't know how much it would cost asset-wise to get him, especially when it's in division like that. I don't know if they would rather trade him to like a West Coast team or something like that, but that always kind of comes into play. But yeah, Felix Bautista, definitely a guy I would be very interested in.
I like it. This is one that we were we both independently came to, man, this guy would be a nice fit. It shocks me what has happened to the Orioles. I thought going into last year that they were going to be the primary contenders, the favorites probably to win the division. They didn't win it. And this year it looks like they're going to be in dead last, which I did not expect. Their young offense has not clicked. They don't have a lot of pitching. losing Batista last year really hurt them. You saw what he did in 2023. He had a 1.48 ERA. He was 8-2 out of the pen. Look at that. 61 innings, 110 strikeouts, elite strikeout stuff. He did have Tommy John surgery, and he's kind of recovering, but he's 29 years old. Not everybody comes back super strong, but most pitchers eventually coming back from Tommy John get there. So I think even if you have to pay a little bit of a premium in division, I think he's somebody you have to go out and get. And to say that trades can't be made in division or whatever, I see a few people saying things like that. Just a reminder, the Yankees have done this before. Who was the lefty, the sinker baller that they got? He was their closer for. I forgot his name. Zach Britton. Thank you so much, TK, for.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Mind like a steel trap. It's been a while, but I loved him when the Yankees first got him. He was great. He was reliable, and it came from the Orioles. And the Yankees have made trades with the Red Sox in division after the Red Sox have fallen out of it. So I can see this trade happening. Look, if you're in dead last, you're not super close to winning the division, right? You've got some work to do. And I think it'd be one that I think would be a good fit. Let me throw another one at you. We need a third baseman. There is a guy who has played a lot of left field recently, but has also been playing third base recently in perhaps kind of a showcase. He plays out west, but Yankees fans will be familiar with him. He is hitting .417 versus lefties. He's hitting .312 on the season with a .340 on base percentage and a 115 OPS. And if you pick him up, it allows you to DFA Reyes, which is something we've been wanting to do for a while. TK, I present to you Mr. Miguel Andujar for your consideration. What are your thoughts on Miggy Two Bags coming back?
That would be funny. It would be like a full circle moment. I actually think that, so he came in second place for Rookie of the Year behind Shohei Ohtani in 2018.
Yeah.
Funny enough, obviously the way things worked out, like it's better for the league that Ohtani won the Rookie of the Year, but I feel like he probably should have won. He hit like 297 on the year there. He had a fantastic rookie year.
27 homers, I think.
27 homers. He had a great rookie season. It's just unfortunate that Shohei Ohtani was also a rookie that year and he was pitching. So I feel like the league was going to give it to him no matter what because it was such a unicorn thing. But if Shohei Ohtani is not in the league or in his second year, he definitely wins Rookie of the Year. So and then he kind of bounced around, struggled a little bit. But I feel like the Yankees kind of didn't really give him a fair shake because Gio Urshela kind of burst onto the scene and sort of just took his job because he was playing well. But you never really got to see Miguel Andujar, I feel like, get a fair shot. So I would be open to it. The guy's a hitting machine. He sucks at defense. He's terrible at it. But, sure. I mean, boy, can he hit. So
this comment from Word Lifer, for those of you who are listening, it says, "Oh, for F's sake." Hey, we're just spitballing ideas here. There's nothing written in stone. We're not advocating for these or de-advocating. We're still a long way from the trade deadline. What's it, about 2 months till the trade deadline? Over 2 months. So this is kind of like, when you go house shopping or whatever, the first thing you do is you kind of just look at the area, right? You kind of look at Zillow.
Window shopping.
Right. What's available? What are the schools like in this? That type of stuff. All right. The next guy I want to bring up is a right-handed pitcher. He is 33 years old. He pitches for the Washington Nationals, who are, again, not going to make the playoffs. He is a solid bullpen guy. He's got 15 saves. Mr. Kyle Finnegan for your consideration, TK.
Kyle Finnegan's a name that I feel like has been thrown around the last couple of seasons at every deadline. Are they going to trade him? Are they not? Very solid, nice savant numbers there. 2.41 ERA, so certainly interesting. He's had a good year so far. I would definitely be okay with that. He throws about like 96, so definitely not like a flamethrower, but he throws hard. I love how like 96 isn't a flamethrower anymore. But in today's game, I feel like throwing 100 is a flamethrower at this point. But 33 years old, 2.41 ERA, 15 saves. I like it. Decent setup piece. I think Luke Weaver has locked down the closer role. So we mentioned Bautista, we mentioned Finnegan. Like, to me, those would be like 8th inning guys, 7th,
Same
8th
here.
inning guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Devin Williams in the 7th is money. Like, no pressure. His stuff plays in the 7th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think if possible, I would rather get Felix Bautista, but this would be like a nice consolation prize if you're not able to grab him.
Dude, I can't believe we lost to the freaking Rockies. I'm still sitting
I
here
know.
like, oh my God. It feels like a bad dream, right? It feels
Yeah.
like a just awful, awful, awful dream. All right, so we got a couple more here. Looking at third baseman, let's go to a guy we just saw with the Rangers, 27 years old, but the Rangers do have a lot of infield depth. This guy is an elite defender. He's got some upside with the bat. A couple of years ago, he had 23 home runs. He's still 27 years old. 812 OPS, 288 average. His name is Josh Jung, Texas Tech product. You see the fielding run value there in the 87th percentile. I like this guy. Defensively, he reminds me of like a young Matt Chapman. He's that kind of fielder, and I think there's room to grow offensively there. The average exit velocity is not great. He's about middle of the pack when it comes to whiff percentage, strikeout percentage. Doesn't walk enough. What are your thoughts on whether the Rangers would make this deal, if they would even move him?
I like him a lot. The Rangers right now are 25 and 27, so they are 5 games back behind the Seattle Mariners to win the division if they do that. And in the wild card, they're where are they? They're not even showing up on my thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, 3 games back to wild card, so they're definitely like right there. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be sellers. They're kind of a middle of the pack team, 500 team. But if they do become sellers, if they decide to be sellers, I think he's the most realistic name that would be the best player in terms of you can actually acquire him. I don't think it's that outlandish. And I would be very interested. Yeah, you mentioned the defense, right-handed bat. And to me, my thing is like, put him in the Yankee lineup. I think that elevates his offense, with the guy like Judge and Bellinger and Goldschmidt. Like if you got those guys in the lineup, you're going to have a little bit of protection there. It's not that Texas doesn't have a good lineup. It's just that the guys have really struggled. Marcus Semien had a terrible season so far. Corey Seager, I think, is hurt. Josh A. Smith has been really good for them. Adolis Garcia is always dangerous, but like it's definitely for them. They've had a lot of injuries. Guys haven't played to the back of their baseball cards. So if they do decide to trade him, I would love him.
Let's look at one more guy that we're seeing thrown around a little bit. This is Eugenio Suarez, who TK hit 4 home runs in a game earlier this year. I'm not sure if you saw that. That was insane. He is not a good fielder. He is not a good base runner. But what the man can do is destroy baseballs. He's got 14 home runs this year, hitting 221. Last year he hit 256 with 30 homers. You see the hard hit percentage and the barrel percentage, all fantastic. He does strike out. Walks are about league average. Fielding, he's not a fielder, but he plays third base. Word around the campfire is that the Diamondbacks are willing to listen on him. They have some prospects that can fill in, and they're certainly willing to listen. And they want to get better on defense as well. What are your thoughts? I mean, it would hurt our defense, but man, that's a bat. That's a bat that would have looked good in Colorado tonight.
Oh yeah. Great bat, great veteran bat who's been in the league quite some time. And yeah, you look at the red there, he hits the ball hard. Strikes out a kind of a lot, I guess. Whiff percentage is in the lower percentile, chase percentage is in the lower percentile. I guess the one thing I would kind of worry about for him is if you look at his spray chart, a lot of it is to left center field. And I don't know if that's going to play that well in Yankee Stadium because of Death Valley out there. But I mean, he is a really good player, and I think he would be really good as a Yankee. It's just whether or not the swing would translate. Almost a little bit like an Alex Bregman situation where they didn't end up signing him because I don't think they thought his swing would play well in Yankee Stadium. So just a thought there. But I do think that he would be a nice fit too.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple of voicemails here. This one is about Royce Lewis.
What's up, Derek? I am Kaysen from Alabama, and I've been a lifelong Yankee fan, but I was going to talk about the trades, and one guy that stands out to me is Royce Lewis from Minnesota, and while I know he's not off to the best start of the season, he's batting 191, but he only has 47 at-bats, and the Twins are in third place, and obviously a third-place Central team's probably not making the playoffs or the wild card, so I think he could be an option. And another option, probably not as likely, and this one's probably not likely either, but Josh Jung from the Rangers. He's off to a decent...
Yeah, so love the call. Royce Lewis is interesting because he's a former 1-1, first round, first pick.
Yeah.
And he put insane numbers in short spurts, but then he always gets hurt. Like a couple years ago, 2023, he had 217 at-bats. He hit 309 with 15 home runs and a 920 OPS. The next year, he had 325 at-bats. He hit 16 homers. OPS and average weren't as high. This year, just 51 at-bats. I don't know what his injury was this year, but obviously he's continuing to miss time. I've always thought that health is a skill. Like, there's certain guys that just can't stay healthy despite, like, supreme athletic ability. Like, Jacoby Ellsbury is one of those guys. Mike Trout, yeah. I mean, to be fair, he came up early and he's kind of had, like, a lot of mileage and he plays tough position and runs a lot. But, I'm trying to think, Slade Heathcott, some Yankee fans will remember him. He was their top prospect for a while. He was a number one draft pick or first-round draft pick for the Yankees, but he could never stay healthy. Nick Johnson was another one. Amazing bat, great eye at the plate, always hurt. Some guys just get hurt. They have great athletic ability and can't stay healthy. Brian Buxton is another example for the Twins. And I think Royce Lewis is probably one of those guys, and I think I would steer clear unless you got him on the cheap.
Yeah, you got him on the cheap, but the one thing I will say about Royce Lewis, he plays a lot of positions. You can kind of put him anywhere on the field, and that's really valuable, and that's really nice, and a former number one overall pick. But yeah, when I think of him, I think immediately typical Minnesota Twin like Byron Buxton. Byron Buxton gets hurt all the time. I feel like he's never on the field. He's really struggled with health, and I think that's like kind of the last thing this team needs, especially the last few years. The Yankees have really struggled with injuries. I feel like maybe a little – obviously Cole got Tommy John surgery, but like a little bit less this season, like other than Cole, Heel, and Stanton, I mean, who's really been hurt for the knock on wood. So, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be interested just because of the injuries.
Yeah. We got a comment. How's Gio Urshela doing? He's washed. He's washed. Yeah. He's hitting 224, no power. All his mobility is gone. He's going to be retiring in the next year or two. I'd pretty much guarantee it. So we got another comment here. I don't want to get your thoughts on this.
Hi, Derek. This is Ray from upstate New York, northern New York, and I just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Appreciate that.
I think this would be a good series to try out Ben Rice at third base. When I called one other time, some people thought, well, I don't think so, or he wouldn't make it, or whatever. But I think that that would be a good trial for him. And also, to get more batting in the order, I would suggest maybe even trying somebody different at second base besides DJ. Try maybe Trent Grissom. He's pretty athletic.
No, that's first of all, the Rice thing, not the worst idea, and I saw that idea a few places where people were like, well, let's just see if he can play. I mean, you can't lose to the Rockies, right? There's no way that can happen. Well, they did. And Trent Grisham is a lefty. He can't play second base. So that's a no-go there. Lefties have to be able to turn the double play. They have to be right-handed. Second basemen have to be able to turn that double play at second. You can't do it if you're lefty because you got to spin and throw against your body. It doesn't work. So what are your thoughts on the Rice thing? I don't think we're going to see it. I just don't think we're going to see it till spring training, if at all.
Yep, definitely not this season. That's a spring training project for him to learn an entirely new position. I'll put him there in MLB The Show and I'll see what he looks like. But I just kind of think that's he needs the full spring to get reps there and see what he looks like. I thought he was taking grounders at third, and they asked Boone about it, and he's like, well, Goldschmidt was taking grounders at short, so it's really not that big of a deal. But I feel like you kind of know what you're doing there if you put him at third, and there's been some chatter about it. But yeah, that's a spring training thing. If I think it's an interesting idea, and I would definitely be down for that. I would probably just in the offseason be like, hey, start learning third and see what he looks like there. That's what I was saying in spring training when it was spring training. I was like, why don't they at least put him in the outfield, see what he looks like, just how he moves and how he, reads the ball off the bat. And they didn't. So he's a DH first base catcher. That's it.
Yep. Samantha, new member, says Cashman will never admit he was wrong on Volpe. I mean, I don't look. Volpe had another tough night, but everybody had a tough night. I feel like he's kind of the default target. He's the new Frazier, Aaron Hicks. But I like the kid. He plays hard. He hustles. He plays every day. Is he a superstar? No, but I think he's a more than average second or shortstop. And I mean, he's to me, he doesn't kill you. I mean, today isn't on Volpe. Yeah, we would have loved for him to come through in a big spot there, but really, it's on. Well, it's on the offense collectively. Just you got to score more than 2 runs in Coors against the Rockies. Any final thoughts, TK?
That sucked. You better not lose these next 2. You better not.
You watched the game? I mean, didn't it suck? It sucked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and sorry about the Knicks too. Tough night to be a New York fan. I'll catch you after the game tomorrow, hopefully with better news. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.